Right, hey guys, it's Weston here. So today I'm going to be reviewing the iPhone 6s. So I'd just like to say a massive thank you to Vodafone for sending this phone out to review. So I'm going to be doing this one a little bit differently. I'm just going to be talking more about experience, because the phone is quite old now and there's plenty of reviews with specifications and stuff. So I'm just going to be talking about my sort of use and my sort of opinions about this phone. So I'm going to be starting off positive first and talking about the phone's camera, and that is probably my favourite part of this phone. The camera is seriously amazing, and I did do a separate video which will be in the card and down in the description if you want to check that out. But I am seriously impressed with the cameras on this phone. The video quality is absolutely fantastic, it's really stable, it's really smooth, it's really crisp as well, and it actually just looks as good as the camera I'm using right now, which, to be honest, from a phone is pretty fantastic. Photo quality again is really tremendous, and I think it's pretty much perfect for social media. Now the megapixel count isn't exactly the highest, but for stuff like Instagram, Twitter, Google Plus and other photo sharing websites, this is definitely a fantastic camera. The picture quality is really good, colour accuracy is really nice and neutral, it's not too sort of oversaturated or overblown. It's got good dynamic range as well. It's really good, does a good job in difficult lighting conditions. Indoors it's actually pretty impressive as well. Front facing camera is really respectable as long as you've got a decent amount of light. Indoors it's not fantastic but still very respectable. So next thing I quite liked about the phone is the display. Now it's not a full HD display, but by no means is that a bad thing. The display on this is fantastic, it's really nice. I love the colours of this display actually. Now I'm using an AMOLED display as my other phone, and yeah, that's nice, but I prefer the colours on this one. It's more accurate and it's more neutral, and they don't sort of jump out at you as much. Now I like that. If you like AMOLED displays then that's totally cool, but I like more IPS colours that, like I said, are more natural and more neutral. Text on this is really crisp as well, and it's actually just as nice as the 1080p panel I'm using on my other phone, so it's really impressive. Photos look pretty good on it as well. Video is actually really impressive as well, and it actually looks near enough as good as, like I said, my 1080p phone, so very impressed with the display. So next up we're going to talk audio quality, and this is something I look for in a phone and something that I like try and find, something with really great audio quality, and this does deliver. So the 3.5mm jack is on the bottom, which is not my preferred place. I prefer my headphone jack up top, but that's just my preference. But the audio from the 3.5mm jack is actually pretty impressive and equally as good as my other phone. Then we get on to the speaker quality, and although it's sort of side firing, not the preferred place, and it's actually easy to cover up when you're gaming, but the quality is pretty impressive. It's got a nice amount of body to it, it goes really loud and it's pretty clear as well, and I'm going to give you a quick demo of the speaker now. So the next thing I really like about this phone is how it feels in the hand. Now it is an all metal design and it feels really nice. The form factor is pretty fantastic as well. It's a little bit smaller than the OnePlus X I'm using, which is about right for me, but this is near perfect. The form factor, like I said, it's really nice. It's quite slim as well, and it just feels really nice in the hand. It is a little bit slippery though, I have noticed, but I'm pretty much used to that with the OnePlus X, and that being a very slippery phone as well. But I really like how it feels in the hand. I'm not having to do any awkward hand gymnastics or anything to use the phone to its full potential. Something that I can't find myself doing with larger phones above sort of 5 inches, so this is pretty perfect actually for me. Next up, and we get to things that I'm just sort of okay with. They're not like fantastic and they're not sort of terrible, and that is the UI. Now, I love how clean and minimal it is, and I love how just everything flows and it's really simple and straightforward to use. However, I just don't like the lack of customization that I do get with Android, and that's just personal to me. It's, if you like iOS way of doing things and Apple way of doing things, that's totally cool. I personally prefer Android and Google's way of doing things, But like I said, that's just me. Now we're going to talk about something that again is a little bit disappointing, and that is battery life. Now with the display not being 1080p, I thought battery life might be pretty impressive. I might be able to get through a full day's use pretty easily. That's not true though. So you can see on screen now is my battery usage. You can see what apps I've been using and how long I've been using them for. And usually I can get through a day, medium use, and I will have to charge late in the evening. But yeah, battery's not been that impressive actually. If you push the phone really hard, I found myself needing to charge the phone at like 6 o'clock in the afternoon, which is not that good. I mean, the OnePlus X I'm using, battery life isn't fantastic, but even that can see me through a full day's use. Next up is performance, and again it's been a mixed bag for me. Now I've seen people saying that the performance is fantastic, and I've seen other people that are saying that it's not brilliant at all, and I'm sort of somewhere in the middle. Now the phone's pretty quick, I will admit that. It loads apps much faster than my other phone, and it's actually just as quick as my other phone as well. The only issue is I've had a bit of spotty performance actually. Switching between apps, sometimes it takes quite a long time to load apps up, sometimes it loads them really quickly. Gaming performance has been a little bit sort of hit and miss as well. Like Asphalt 8 is one of my favourite games on mobile, and for the most part it plays really smoothly. Sometimes I have seen a little bit of sort of judderiness and a bit of stutters every now and then, but for the most part it's been pretty good. So now let's bring the tone back brighter again, and we'll talk a little bit about build quality. And I'm actually very, very impressed, and I have talked a little bit about this in the hand, and I'm just going to go into a bit more detail now. And I actually really like how this phone is made. It feels really premium and really solid. The buttons feel really nice and tactile, and it's just a very well put together phone. The display feels fantastic. Not something that many people talk about, but actually the glass on the display, although it's not Gorilla Glass, I don't think, don't quote me on that, but the display feels really nice. The glass, like I said, feels fantastic. It's really smooth and really responsive, and yeah, it's just a really well put together phone, and I can see why people love how Apple products are made, because they are really very well made products. So guys, we're going to wrap up the review now. So what do I think of this phone? Well, I'm actually really quite impressed with it. It's been a little bit sort of hit and miss in terms of performance, but for the most part it's been a fantastic phone. The camera is brilliant. I really like the display. The UI is not for me, but it's really nice anyway. So should you actually pick up one of these phones? Well, if the rumours are true and the iPhone 7 is not going to have a 3.5mm jack, then this could potentially be the last phone to use a 3.5mm jack from Apple, which, if you're like me, I pretty much rely on 3.5mm for my audio, so that'd be a bit of a deal breaker for me, the iPhone 7, not this one. But if you're like me and you really need the 3.5mm jack, this could be the last iPhone to actually use one. So there is that to keep in mind. But disregarding all that, should you actually pick one of these phones up? Well, if you're an Apple fan, then yes, this is, for now, the latest and greatest you can get, and it's been a fantastic phone. But if you're one of those people that wants to be on the sort of bleeding edge, then I'd wait for the iPhone 7 to release, which should be a couple of months from now. So yeah, overall I'm impressed with it. Would I get one? Probably not. Right guys, so that is pretty much it for this video. I hope you've enjoyed this a little bit different style. So if you've got any questions about this product or anything else, drop me a comment down below and I will answer them for you. If you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button for more reviews like this and other stuff on my channel as well. So thank you all for watching, and I will see you all on the very next video.